Hey everyone, it's me, your friendly neighborhood Elijah, with the second preview of this little shindig we're doing here. I've moved upstairs into the upper offices of Elijah Tindall Communications here, ETC, which is actually at the moment my sister's house in Ventura, California, and my house is literally right there, but they're doing work on it before we can get in there. And so I just wanted to share a few thoughts, and I just broadcasted live, so you may have seen this already. I'm going to say pretty much the same stuff, but I want to say it again because as I was pushing release it or whatever, it had a delete button, and I accidentally press the delete button because I have not learned yet how to use these fingers. I've only had them for 44 years, and so I'm still getting the hang of this thing. I mean, we're created to be eternal beings, so we're going to be here forever, and in the span of forever, 44 years is just infancy stage, and I'm still learning to use my appendages, as it were. I hope that you are having a great day. I wish upon you the greatest day that you've ever had, but not the greatest day you'll ever have. Let it get better and better and better every day. That's what I keep telling my kids every day when I drop them off from school. I hope you have the best day you've ever had, but not the best day you'll ever have. So I hope that you are having that kind of day. If you can, go ahead and spread the word right now that we're doing this little thing, because I've got a little bitty lesson that I want to share with you that I think is going to be encouraging to a lot of people. It might help set some people on the right track if you're feeling a little lost in where you are in life right now. I usually don't allow fans in the room with me, but today I've got this one, and so just like to say welcome to you, fan, and thank you for being here as an in-studio guest here at Elijah Tindall Communications, aka my sister's house upstairs in her bedroom. They're out of town, so me and my kids are babysitting Jack the dog, the big boxer that you guys have seen. We're here staying with Jack, and well, they're out of town. They get back today. So, okay. Not sure if we're still going. I was getting a call, and it said no caller ID. I'm a call screener, so that ain't happening. I don't know who you will. Okay, so here's the thought, guys. The thought is this. The thought is about gifts and callings. Okay, so we all in this world, we've got these giftings that we were given. Giftings can be things that you're talented in, things that you love, like music. I remember when I was 11 years old, I really got into music. I really, really liked, because it was the 80s, and you know, that was the best time to be alive as far as music is concerned, in my opinion, because you had the glam rock. It was just beautiful. And so I started playing drums at 11 years old. My dad started teaching me drums, and I just had a natural gifting toward music. I was a pretty gifted musician, and that was one of the giftings that I had. Another gifting that I had on my life was communication. Even though I had a horrible stuttering problem, like my stuttering problem was so bad when I was a kid that my 5th grade teacher told me, I don't know what it is that you're going to do when you get old, but it will never be anything that requires you to use your voice and to talk for a living. And so that's literally what I do, is talk for a living. But I always had a gifting to be able to capture an audience and to communicate with an audience, even when I was very hesitant in speaking in public and very shy. And so there's always a natural ability that I had that draws people in. And so you, yourself, you have giftings. You have a gifting on your life. It could be in the area of music. It could be that you are really good at listening to people and making them feel comfortable talking to you. It could be that you are a communicator. It could be that you're a painter. It could be you're a gifted plumber. You're a gifted mechanic. You're a gifted songwriter. You're a gifted... I don't know what your gifting is, but here's what I know is that all of us have been given different giftings here in our lives. We have to really pay attention to those giftings, because here's what happens is we start out really focusing on and enjoying our giftings, and then as we mature, as we start to pursue leaving a legacy with our life, what we do is we end up saying, what is it that I'm here for? What's my call? So there's a difference in a gifting and a call. What's my call? What's the overall big purpose? When I die, when you tell the story of my life and looking back, what is it that is going to be the thing that I was called to, and I made this world a better place place because I helped I empowered people to take action in an area, and I helped this area. Could be starving people. It could be, I don't know what it is, but there's a call. Different people have different calls in their life. And so 7 billion people on the face of this earth right now, almost 8 billion really, and hardly anyone ever asks this question: what is my call? What am I called? What's my assignment here on earth? And I believe that if you're watching this, you're probably of the fold of the type of person who you're interested in knowing what your call is. You're interested in those kind of things, because anyone who follows me, you kind of have a self-help mentality, and you can't be around me very long before I start pressing in there a little bit about making this world a better place, causing people to have a good day, those kind of things like that. And so that's indicative of the call of God on my life. And so I believe everyone has a call on their life. And so it could be that you're focusing now on your call. You're trying to find out, what is my call? What am I supposed to be doing, accomplishing with my life? In that, what we tend to do is we tend to start minimizing the value of the gift on our life because we want to start really focusing on the call. And so then someone who may be gifted in like music, and you're really gifted in that, or painting, you begin to put that aside, and you're like, that doesn't matter. That doesn't have eternal value. I want to start feeding people in Zimbabwe, and so that's the call of God on your life, and you're wanting to call. The call is to be an influence, to help people, to help women, to help equality, to help people groups that are left out. I don't know what the call is, but you feel called to that. And so we're so passionate about that we put everything into that. And we forget that it's the gifting that makes us valuable and makes us credible and more influential to do the calling on our life. And so never ignore the gifting, because the more valuable you are in your gifting, then it's going to empower you to do the calling on your life. You know what? What if Michael Jordan had never pursued basketball because he didn't feel like the ultimate call on his life was to play a sport, because surely it's something deeper than that. I can tell you what, Michael Jordan can speak, and when he speaks, everyone listens, and the reason everyone listens is because the gift on his life he paid attention to. The gift was to play basketball, and because he played basketball, it got the world's attention, and now when he speaks, people listen. And I know that's it may be a generational thing because I am from the 80s, but there's other people that they've put a lot into their gifting, and it's qualified them to speak a louder voice into the call. So never ignore the gifting on your life, because what the Bible says, and I subscribe to the Christian belief system, and so when I say things like God created me to do this, or God's called God, don't get scared off if you're not subscribing to the Christian belief system. I believe these principles apply in every area, no matter what you believe. I believe these are laws that really they fulfill themselves. The law of sowing and reaping, that's going to work no matter if you're a Christian or you're not a Christian, no matter what belief system you have. Whatever you put into this world is the same thing that's going to be coming back at you. That's just how it plays out. So whether you believe it or not, but I say that because in the Christian belief system, I believe that there are calls, there's these big things that we're created to do, and I believe that in the Christian belief system, what it teaches is this. In Genesis chapter 1, 26 and 27, it says, God created man in his image. That first word, image, there is God's created man in his imagination. That God was imagining you. Before the foundations of the earth, God was imagining you, and he was thinking about you, and specifically why he would place you here on earth, why he would place you in this generation. So you're not here by accident. You're not here just like at the wrong time either. You talk to a lot of people that are like, I wish I was born back in the Bible days. No, you don't. You know what you love? You love plumbing. You love working in plumbing. You love to be able to flush a toilet after you go to the bathroom. You don't think you do? Live without it for a week, and I'll guarantee you that's one of the things that you enjoy a lot. You know what they didn't have back then? A lot of working plumbing. You were called to this generation. You may love riding on donkeys like they did, like the rich people did back in the Bible, but I can guarantee you, most of you, no matter how much you love animals and how much you love donkeys, you probably own a vehicle and you probably drive around in that, and I bet you that it'd be a lot easier to do what it is that you do for a living by having a vehicle and not riding a donkey to work every day. Why? Because you were called and specifically designed and placed here in this generation for a specific purpose. And so we can't ignore that I'm not only here, but I'm here for a purpose, for a reason. What's the assignment on my life? That's my call. Now, things to pay attention to. One, what are the things that aggravate you? What are the things that really annoy you? You know what used to aggravate me is the negative influence that the entertainment industry had on the young people of the generation. I was a youth pastor for over a decade, and I used to get really, really upset at the influence, the negative influence that the entertainment industry had on the young people, the youth culture. And one day I was just kind of waving my fist in the air and how dare they, and blah, 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 all that stuff. And I realized, I think God kind of put it in my spirit that that just shut up. Elijah, just shut up, because you never even pray for this industry. You never even pray for the people of this industry. So if you don't pray for them, then what qualifies you to speak into this? What qualifies you? If you don't sacrifice for something, then you'll have no value for that thing and you'll just criticize. Listen, we can't replace something with nothing. And so we can complain about the something there is, but unless we have a solid something to go to, we can't just say we should not do this and then replace it with nothing. No, there has to be a love that replaces that. There has to be an acceptance that replaces that. And so what I started doing is I started to pray for a specific person in the entertainment industry. I'd pick a different person every day. And what I found is I began to get a heart to become someone in the industry, and inside that would be a voice, a relational voice of influence for a positive direction, for love, for acceptance, for hope inside the entertainment industry. I used to just criticize the entertainment industry. Now I find myself right in the middle of it, trying to speak love and encouragement and hope and peace, those kind of things. And I realize that it is way, way, way better to be on that side of the coin rather than just waving my fist in the air. And so we need to pay attention. What is it that aggravates us? Because that may be an indicator of the thing that I'm called to help fix. And so you can see the things you're aggravated at, and then before you start criticizing, before you go on Facebook and start blasting people and blasting their belief systems, pray for them. Pray for them. No, I know, but how dare they? Just shut up and pray for them. And then I guarantee you, after a season of praying for them, your criticism will turn more into a, how can I help this? What is it that I'm missing? See, that's what happens as we start focusing internally on what it is that we're missing. How can we be a better voice? How can we be more influential? And so we pay attention. That leads us to our giftings. Our giftings. How can I be a better voice? I'll tell you how I can be a better voice. I can be a better voice of influence by being great at what it is I do. Some of the stuff I do. Personally, I write comedy. I perform comedy at comedy clubs and casinos and venues and concerts and those kind of things like that. My goal is to be so credible in that it gives me a voice of influence to that culture. And so, because if I'm just horrible at that and I ignore the gifting, which is comedy, on my life, which is being humorous, being a communicator, if I ignore that, then I shut the door on any kind of influence I'll have in that area. So let's just say I'm the guy that's called to feed the homeless. And if I'm called to feed the homeless, which we all are, but you know what I'm saying, like there's a specific assignment. If that were the case, it benefits my call way more to be able to have a very influential voice on the gifting part of my life. And so if I'm reaching millions because of the gifting on my life, because I'm credible at what I do, then I have a greater voice of influence. When I say, let's feed the homeless, now I'm not just talking to myself over here, just trying to do it by myself because it's my call, but I'm talking to millions of people, and it increases the value of what I'm called to do by being attentive and really working on sharpening the gift that's in my life. Don't forget the gifts that's in your life. I don't know what your giftings are. I have no idea, but don't overlook those, because your giftings are trying to make room for your call. They make room. They literally open doors for you to be able to do what it is you're called to do. And here's the clue. Listen, what you're called to do, you're going to find that it's progressive. It never stays the same. It's going to be, once you are finding yourself in what you thought would be the ultimate call of God on your life, then you'll realize there's more to this. It's literally going to take your entire life in order to find out what it is you specifically assigned to do. And if you keep moving forward, the more you look look back, you can look back at the end of your life and say, man, that was a great ride. That was a great journey. And I thought this was it, but turns out it was way more. And we become bigger people. We become more loving and accepting people. And so I believe that today, there's a call of God on your life. There's a call that is on your life. I don't know what that is. I didn't create you, but I know the one who did create you. And even if you don't subscribe to the Christian belief system, I still believe that there's a call of God in your life, whether you subscribe to this or not. And I still believe you can walk in that. I still believe that you can find that. And here's what I said in the first broadcast that I'll say again. Listen, I don't have to answer. I don't have to fight on behalf of my God to prove his existence. He can do that himself, and so I'm not here to argue with anybody about that, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me if you believe or if I believe or what I believe, and none of that doesn't change. That doesn't change things that are really, really important. And so at this stage, what's really important is that you hear this message, and it reminds you that you are called, that there's something on your life beyond what it is that you're doing right now. There's an assignment on your life, and specifically what's trying to get you to that assignment, the vehicle that's trying to get you to that assignment is the gifting. So what are you gifted at, friend? What are you gifted at? What are some of the things that you can look at yourself and say, these are my giftings. When I talk, it seems like people are drawn to me. I'm a magnet for some reason, or I'm able to listen to people. They're drawn to me and they share their problems. Maybe your gifting is counseling people. Maybe your gifting is music. Maybe your gifting is talking. Maybe you're gifted at welding. Maybe you're gifted at plumbing. Maybe, I don't know what your gifting is, but don't ignore it, because it's trying to make you an influence in that world, so that way it can empower you to be greater at your call. So those are my thoughts. I hope you guys have a great day, the greatest day you've ever had, but not the greatest day you'll ever have. And if you want to chat about anything, just hit me up, and I'd love to talk to you. Love to see what you got going on. And you got criticisms about anything, message somebody else. Tell them that, because I got no time for that. I stayed alive through heart surgery last year, and I'm not trying to take on any stress. But I am open. I am open to hear what everyone's got to say. You guys have a great day, and love you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.